Hey guys, it's Kurt from Wersi Club USA. All right, let's keep moving forward on using OAX with an external MIDI device, hardware based at this point, and how we can play that device. So the last time around when we had the Ketron set up, we had a very simple one keyboard, upper manual only on the Sonic, and we were able to play left hand and right hand parts. But most likely, if you own a Sonic, you would like to play it like a real organ with upper keyboard, lower keyboard, possibly pedals. We're going to show you pedals, though I don't know that I would actually use the Ketron bass sounds over the bass sounds in OAX. But you can do that if that's what you want to do. So follow along. This will probably take 2 videos to cover. One, partly we want to talk a little bit more about the whole MIDI setup on both sides, and a little bit about sending program and bank information from OAX over to the Ketron, and how we can control the voices or sounds in the Ketron by just using the touchscreen in OAX. Here we go. So this shot should look pretty familiar, but if you look, there's one change, and it's kind of an important change. Again, this is the back of the Wersi side. I'm sure you know that, but just to make sure. So before, we were using MIDI out 1 only. Now notice we've got both MIDI out 1 and MIDI out 2 connected. And we're doing that not so much from an OAX point of view, but a whole lot more because of the way the Ketron works. So here's the connections on the Ketron side. Notice 2 cables again. So as you might expect, to make it kind of easy to follow, we have MIDI out 1 on the Wersi going to MIDI in 1 on the Ketron. MIDI out 2 of the Wersi goes to MIDI in 2 of the Ketron. Now we're not going to go into a lot of details on the Ketron, but you notice here in 1 says GM and in 2 says key B, as in keyboard. So let's kind of just leave the Ketron nitty-gritty stuff alone for now and move forward with the Wersi side of this setup. Hey, here's one quick little thing I'll show you. Over on the right-hand side of the console, under the user sound section, notice the button that's lit up in red. When you touch that, up comes all of your user sounds. Now, of course, you're not going to see the screen that I have. It's going to be based on whatever user sounds that you created. But what I want you to notice here is you don't have to go into the sound list. You can pick user sounds just like you pick the factory sounds. If you pick strings or organ or woodwinds or all those different sections on the organ, it brings you up a panel similar to this, and you pick whatever sound you want. So just in case you haven't seen this, the user sounds can be selected the same way. Okay, let's take a closer look at this. Remember, what we wanted to try and show you here is we're going to pick a sound for upper. We'll start with vibes, and we'll probably change it as we're going, but we'll start with vibes. And on the bottom, I've got this really goofy looking name. So this is K for Ketron, port 2, channel 2, style. And I'll try to explain that more as we keep going. So let's quickly go up here to upper 1. Double click. Let me highlight routing so you can see it. Again, MIDI out number 1, system assigned MIDI channel. So that part you guys should already understand. What's a little bit new in this one is we have this thing here called the MSB set to 0. And over here under program, we have the value of 11. So what that means is on the Ketron, that particular information is required to pick the vibes on the Ketron. So now by touching using the touchscreen in the Wersi side, it'll send all of this information to the Ketron. It responds and brings up vibes. Now, like we said earlier, if you own a Sonic, there's a pretty good chance you want to play it as a real organ, upper, lower pedals. So, so far, we'll add more to this as we keep going along in future videos. But for now, in the first video, we played everything on the upper keyboard. My left hand, the keyboard was split. My left hand made chord changes. The organ followed, or I'm sorry, the Ketron followed. My right hand played a melody. Here, we're going to play melody on all of the upper keyboard. It has all 61 keys available. If you go here and double click on it, let's click on our good friend Edit and Routing. But notice now we're telling it to use MIDI connector 2 on the organ side, on the Sonic. And we also forced it to MIDI channel 2, but none of these values are set. Now, the reason we did that, and we'll have to dig up some screenshots of the Ketron, but we're going to save that for the next video because this one's getting a little too long. The Ketron is set up so that MIDI channel 2 will respond to what they call the arranger section. In the Wersi world, we call those styles. But that's going to let me play on the lower manual. Okay, because notice I have this assigned to the lower manual. But whatever I do on the lower manual goes out physically on cable 2, output number 2. And that information will be on MIDI channel 2. So, again, this one's getting a little bit long, and I want to make sure you guys kind of understand all of these settings here. And we'll go down and take some footage at the organ so you can actually hear it playing and that these things are occurring. And then we will also use the touch screen of the organ here. And we will change sounds using the touchscreen of the organ, and the Ketron will respond. For now, thanks for watching.